was a man of considerable integrity. He stood up for what he believed in, even if it meant doing a disservice to himself. He was born in 1913, and as a young man, around the age of 20, he went on his motorbike to France. And he came back from France with a book wrapped in brown paper. This was Ulysses by James Joyce. Throughout the 1920s and the 30s, the book was banned in the US and the UK for any import or sale, therefore required a considerable degree of subterfuge. It was written over a 7-year period from 1914 to 1921, and the novel was serialised in the American journal The Little Review from 1918, until the publication of a particular episode which led to its prosecution for obscenity. In 1919, sections of the novel also appeared in the London literary journal, The Egoist. The novel itself was banned in the UK until the 1930s. In 1920, the US magazine, The Little Review, serialised a passage from the book dealing with the main character masturbating. A group called the New York Society for the Suppression of Vice, who objected to the book's content, took action to keep the book out of the United States. At a trial in 1921, the 1933 Random House publisher decided they wanted to again publish the book, and they arranged for one of the books to be seized so that a new trial could come up, and therefore they could then contest it. It was called United States versus One Book Called Ulysses, and the US District Judge John M. Wolseley ruled on December the 6th, 1933, that the book was not pornographic and therefore could not be obscene. In his decision, Judge John M. Wolseley ruled in favour of Random House, stating that the book was not pornographic and that Joyce had attempted, it seems to me, with astonishing success, to show the stream of consciousness with ever-shifting kaleidoscope impressions. And he further went on to say that Joyce shows how each of these impressions affects the life and behaviour of the character he is describing. 2 years later, in 1936, the novel was finally legalised in the United Kingdom, and actually, contrary to general belief, Ulysses was never banned in Ireland. Language was important in our house. We had no television, and books were both entertainment and a means of opening up your horizons into new worlds of imagination and new understandings. My dad remained a Joycean and a huge believer in freedom of speech. You were actually allowed to use any word, and I really mean any word, but you had to use it in context. One of my brothers now has the version of Ulysses that he brought back with him. It's in 2 parts. It's smuggled from France in 1932. And we all have the story of risking arrest to circumvent and be able to read a banned book.